Welcome to Life School, Series 2, Bumps and Babies. As I record this today, I am currently 23 weeks and 4 days pregnant with my first baby, which I'm so excited to share I now know is a little girl. I'm still in the process of recording this series, and my plan was to start releasing episodes once I'd finished recording with all my wonderful guests. However, in light of the current global situation with coronavirus, recording for now is on hold. So I've decided to share with you the episodes I've recorded so far over the past couple of months. I know many of us are currently self-isolating at home with lots of time on our hands, so what better time to listen to your favourite podcasts or perhaps discover some new ones. As a first-time mum, pregnancy, birth and babies is a whole new world for me, and I personally want to educate myself as much as I can before my little one arrives. From positive birth stories, information on hypnobirthing, water births, C-sections, baby massage and more, I hope throughout this series I can shed some light on just some of the areas you may be worried about, or even just intrigued about. Thank you to all the incredible birth workers and women who have made this series possible so far, and thank you so much for listening. My guest for this episode is the founder of Malaak Mama and Baby Care, Kandalaft. Malaak offer a vast range of services for every single stage of the parenting journey. From prenatal classes, baby massage, feeding workshops, professional maternity nurses, qualified babysitters and much, much more, Malaak is your one-stop shop for expecting families. I really hope you enjoy getting to know Lily and her amazing business. Happy listening! Lily, welcome to Life School.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being with me today. And it's so lovely to see you.
Likewise. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
This amazing journey that you're about to start.
Oh, thank you. It is, it's a whole new world. And for someone that is very impatient, it's really teaching me patience.
You're ready to start now, ready to welcome him or her.
Yeah, I found out so early. I found out at 6 weeks.
Amazing.
So... And here, luckily, we're very lucky that you get to have lots of scans and doctor's appointments. And so each one is like a little milestone. So I just kind of count the days down between scans. And I've got obviously all the apps now where you can see the size of your baby each week.
It's really exciting. And you're already connecting to someone that you haven't met yet.
It's so
really
exciting. But I wanted to start today by talking about Malaak.
Yeah.
So first of all, can you share with us what is Malaak and how did you become the owner of Malaak and how did it all start for you?
Okay. So Malaak really is a one-stop shop for families, kind of going on their parenting journey. So for any, expecting parent, we kind of support families from when they start their pregnancy through things like prenatal classes, giving them all the education and support that they need to prepare themselves not only for birth, but also for when the baby arrives. And then, kind of continuing the journey once you've given birth. So we know that a lot of, especially first-time moms are not exactly sure of what they want to do or, how to manage this amazing, beautiful little thing that you now have to, you're fully responsible for. So we have a team of our maternity nurses and babysitters that come to your home and support you either during the day or at night, and basically guide you on different things related to feeding, later on weaning, breastfeeding in the beginning, routines, so all the things that get you comfortable and educated, to do the best that you can do as a mom. And then after that, we kind of have a lot of workshops that we have at our baby center in Times Square, and essentially we provide things like sleep workshops, getting your baby sleeping through the night, weaning workshops. Once your little one's ready to start solids. We also have baby development classes. And we have something amazing which we do every Thursday, which you definitely need to attend, which is our Mama Mornings. And these are free for everyone. And we bring
I need to
experts.
Come to one of these.
Yeah, these are honestly so nice because it's nice from a couple of angles. So you have experts that come in and talk about things related to being a mom. So experts in their field, from whether postnatal, kind of getting back into shape, things like therapy, how your relationship's going to change. So we talk about all these things, but at the same time, you're meeting a lot of other moms that are in exactly the same boat as you. So other moms bring their babies, so pregnant moms come as well. So you meet a lot of people, and it's like this little mini social circle.
Community,
and this is our way of kind of giving back because it's, being a mom, and you'll see, is extremely lonely especially the first time round, if you don't have friends going through the same thing. So it's nice to have other people around that you can talk to, ask questions. Our team is always there to answer any questions you may have. So if you're struggling with breastfeeding, if you're struggling with your baby's sleep, our team is there to answer any questions. But also there are other moms that are going through the exact same thing. So you know that, what I'm going through is completely normal. And
hopefully you can make some new friends
exactly,
as well.
Exactly. And now what's nice, a lot of our moms that have been coming for a while, they've made friends through the Mama Mornings, and now come together. So like you see them tagging each other, like, are you coming to this one, this topic I've been completely interested in, or I'm waiting for this one. And now we started in Abu Dhabi, and it's really nice because it's much needed to get that support out to moms.
And is this in the same place every Thursday?
Yeah, so it's in Times Square in our Malaak Baby Center, and it's a nice setup. You come, it's casual. There's coffee, there's breakfast that we provide for our moms. And it's all completely free. It's just a nice opportunity for moms to engage with other moms and be available to, have their little ones as well. Like we have our childcare team there as well. So we take care of the babies while moms are listening to the talks. So moms get a bit of a break. So moms get a bit of a break. So I think it's nice. You get that, everyone needs that little bit of help every once in a while. So, we provide that for our moms every week. And I feel like the response has been amazing. And because we've been getting a lot of demand from Abu Dhabi, we said, why don't we try it there? We had our first one a few weeks ago, and it was absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice. The feedback was amazing. The turnout was great. So moms are desperately, looking for support in that community, I think. And that's where kind of going back, this is where Malaak really started. It's that gap in the region of, a mix of things. So you're kind of on your own. Not everyone has their family here. And I think being, going through the experience of becoming a mom, it's absolutely beautiful, but a lot of the times it's challenging and it's lonely. And for me, my experience was I was a working mom and I took my maternity leave. And while I was on maternity leave, realized that there really is a gap in the region in terms of getting that support, whether it be education or actual physical support in the house when you're completely exhausted from a 24-hour kind of anxiety of, taking care of the child. Am I doing this right? I was on Google half the time of, is this okay? Every time he'd sneeze, I'd end up at the hospital. And it was nice to say, okay, well, if we could get some sort of support for moms, someone to come in and just say, look, you're doing okay, or this is fine, and supporting you, or you just getting a bit of sleep and someone else that you trust taking care of your baby. And really that's where it started. So,
and how many years ago was this?
This was almost 7 years ago.
So I imagine there was a lot less here as well in terms of...
Yeah, exactly. So we were the first baby-focused agency.
You were the first.
Yeah, we were the first baby-focused agency. And, there were other home care agencies that took care of seniors, did physiotherapy and things like that. But for us, we were really focused on providing that, educational, experience support. So we have our own internal kind of training academy that we focus solely on getting our staff ready to answer questions that moms may have, support them on their journey, whether it's things related to breastfeeding or sleep or, safety, hygiene. You have a lot of questions when you give birth. And what we're trying to do is really guide families through that journey and make sure they enjoy it as much as possible and, kind of give them that support and confidence to do it on their own.
And did you set this up after the birth of your first child?
Yes. So after the birth of my first, I was on maternity leave, and I set it up while I was on maternity leave, knowing that, if I'm going to go back, as much as I love my job, and I was in an amazing job, really, in a company that took care of me, was fantastic. I had an amazing boss. But I thought, maybe I can do this kind of on the side, because I did feel genuinely there was a gap. Moms were not getting the support they needed. And for me, I had to go back to work. So I needed that kind of support to get me back into work. So going back into work, I did it while I set up the business while I was at work again, and used my salary to kind of set up everything, help fund it as we kind of went on. And then I actually spoke to my boss and said, look, I'm trying this and I'm not sure. I'm kind of juggling it, and I'm doing it both at the same time. What do you think? And he was absolutely amazing. And I don't think you can get, bosses like this. And he looked at me and goes, listen, I'd give it a shot. Why don't you just take a sabbatical? You go. Try it for a year. Wow. And whenever you want to come back, you can come back. And I will personally make sure that you can come back. And I was like, where am I going to get this kind of support anywhere else?
That's amazing.
So I did that. I took a sabbatical. I went for a year to see where this can go, because, obviously it's a risk. But it was amazing that he gave me that in the back of my mind to know that, the job that I love will be there.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to go for it then, because
exactly,
what have you got to lose? You've got that safety net,
exactly.
So why not?
So I was lucky that way. I was lucky to have that option that not many people have when they want to start out a business. But it was a risk, right? He could have changed positions. He could have, not been available when I decided to come back. But I felt, I don't know what I felt, but I felt like I really needed to do it. I felt like it's a need. It's important for moms that want to go back to work, moms that just want to get a good night's sleep, moms that don't have family, moms that don't have support. A lot of moms go through postnatal depression after giving birth. And it's a struggle, and it's very lonely and tiring. And to get that support, I think, makes all the difference. And just knowing that you can reach out to someone for help, and not be judged, and just have, kind of a network around you that understand, that have gone through something similar. So I think this is why the journey was so important for me. So it was not just providing the in-home childcare support. I think it's starting from the beginning. I did my prenatal classes with Cecile, and I honestly thank her so much for that, because it prepared me a lot mentally for what I was about to go through. It prepared my husband. It was nice because it involved him early on about what's to come. It's not just about you're having a baby. Like, it's us as a family. The dynamics are going to change. Our marriage is going to change. And I think involving him early on, because you kind of go through the process a little bit on your own sometimes, that you're getting the things and you're preparing for the nurse and you're going for the scans. And, so it's lovely to have, a class where it's other parents, other dads, you're learning how to nappy change, to get dads comfortable and confident early on so that they're fully involved. And that's what I, credit Cecile for, because my husband...
I can't wait to meet Cecile.
I've
heard such incredible things. The baby whisperer.
She is something else. And honestly, like, she was one of the after giving birth, I called her, because it was nice that I had met her at the prenatal class. I already knew who she was. So when I was struggling and I was Googling every other minute, I called Cecile and I was like, can you just come to my house and just tell me, am I doing things right? Like, I had the Kakuna baby, which was new at the time. And I was reading online reviews that, this isn't healthy for the baby. There were risk of SIDS, etc. So I was full of anxiety at that point. And then I called her and said, please, can you just come and tell me if I'm doing something wrong or not? And literally, it was amazing. She came, she had a cup of coffee, she went around the nursery, just had a look at the things I had. And we talked about the routine, we talked about the feeding. And she was like, look, you're doing great. Like, you're doing the best that you can, and you're doing an amazing job, and you're giving the love that you need to give, and just kind of relax. And that gave me that comfort to continue to do. Obviously I'm not perfect as a mom, and no one is perfect as a mom, but at the end of the day, it's about feeling confident. It's about trusting your gut. And that you're doing the right things for your
because I think
one.
So many people here, their families come out, and this is what will be my situation. I'm lucky that my husband's family live here, but they do travel a lot.
Okay.
So they will be heavily involved, but they will also go on trips. My mum will come out only for a couple of weeks, and then I will be on my own. And, of course I have the support of my husband, but he'll be busy working as well. So you need those touch points, because once all the kind of initial excitement and the first kind of month where people pop round and it then I imagine, because I've seen it with friends, suddenly everyone goes back to their busy lives and you're just there with your baby. I need help, with whatever area it is, sleeping or breastfeeding, but whatever. So I think it's amazing for people also like me who I'm not going to have live-in help, or at least initially.
Yeah, and it's when you need it, and that's what's nice about it. It's when you need it. It can be that your breastfeeding experience is extremely smooth and amazing. It could be that you need a bit of help, so someone can pop in for an hour, show you a bit of techniques on how to get your little one to latch, and then it continues. So it's not. I think what's nice is that it's extremely flexible as well. And there are different touch points, like you said, throughout the journey, that there is that support available. You just need to reach out and say, look, guys, I'm struggling. Can I get a bit of help here?
Even as simple things as, let's say everything's going smoothly, but once a week I can go and meet another group of ladies and have a coffee and have a chat.
Exactly.
Those things are so important as well.
100%. And I think even for me, so even me, third time, so I've got 3 boys.
Yeah.
And on my third
I didn't know
one,
they were all boys.
Yeah, all boys. So it's a lot of fun. It's a jungle in my house. But on my third, so I've had, the two boys, and every child is completely different. But on the third time round, it's amazing. But through the mama mornings, we have one of our regular mama that comes every week, and she has her little son Leo, who is our weaning baby, because we've seen him kind of through his weaning journey go through, and we've tracked it on our social media. And I looked at him and I was like, oh my God, like he's eating these types of things at this age. Like it's so early. I was pureeing till they were almost, I think, 10, 11 months with the first two. And then I was like, it might give me a bit of confidence to try it. And one of the ladies that was in my house, so one of the childcare professionals that I had, said to me, look, let's try it. Like, let's push for it. I'm like, okay, are you sure? She's like, we've done the first aid. We know what we're doing. Let's just give it a shot. And we tried, so like pancakes and eggs and things much earlier than I normally would have with the other boys. But it's nice because by speaking to other moms, you're gaining that confidence and gaining that, other ways of doing things, little hacks, little tricks. Yeah. And now it's absolutely beautiful. He's 8 months and he's eating proper. And I didn't have that with the other two boys. So I'm really excited about that. So it's nice to meet other moms and, just get that confidence from other moms, because we're all going through the exact same things. We all don't have, support and family.
And that's one of the things I found really amazing about Dubai, actually, is even in my pregnancy now, I'm on a couple of Facebook groups and I've met a couple of lovely women, and we've been meeting up and sending each other events. I need to tell them about the Malaak mornings.
Yes, please.
And we've got a little WhatsApp group, and it's so nice. And we're all at sort of varying degrees of our pregnancy, but we're all expats, and we're all having this shared experience, and it's so lovely, because in the beginning I just felt a little bit, I wanted connection, but I wanted it with someone who was also going through the same thing. Because I feel like you can bore your friends. I mean, it's really boring for people that aren't having babies. And all I want to talk about is baby
that my baby? Exactly. I was the first out of my friends to have a baby. So you can imagine, like, although it was exciting because my baby shower was like the fun and kind of thing. But it's lonely. Like, you want to connect with someone, like you said, that's going through the exact same journey.
Yeah, and we meet up and we don't stop talking. Have you seen this? Are you going to try this? What kind of birth are you thinking? Have you listened to this podcast? And I just love it. It's so lovely. And that's really helped. And I think that's going to be one of the big things for me, just my personality. Like I'm going to need that
community feel.
That community, even if it is once a week and just having a coffee and a chat with someone. Yeah. I'm going to need that. And what's nice is also you kind of meet people, and because you're at a similar stage, hopefully they can become friends with your little one as well.
Exactly.
So that's quite nice as well.
That's 100% what's happening.
You're kind of lining up the play dates.
Exactly. You're
already.
All set.
Getting organised. But did you know you wanted to have a business? Because I'm always intrigued by people who set up a business and they find that niche. And I always wonder, is this something that you always thought, like, one day I'm going to have a business? Or you just saw something and thought,
I think I've always wanted to do something. I've always wanted to, kind of venture on my own, have this energy. And I think through work, it was, again, an amazing job, but I always felt there was a limit to how much, there's that bureaucracy, there's that, with certain projects, you want to go kind of crazy and, test certain ideas, but because there are kind of roadblocks along the way, because you're in a corporate environment, I always felt a bit restricted. So I think I've always wanted to kind of try this out, try setting up my own thing. And I probably wasn't ready to do it full time, and that's probably why I did it to kind of test the waters and check whether it's something, because, I've always been kind of, university and straight out. I haven't taken a break, went into banking, went into that for a few years, then straight away went into Mars and did that for a few years. So I hadn't really taken a break. So I think I've always wanted to, and I think the opportunity came up once I realized that there is a gap. And emotionally, as a mom, I felt like, I'm the target market. I know exactly what is needed. Just my feeling of someone coming in, giving me that relief a little bit, giving me that feeling of support and love and care, and letting me know that I'm doing the right thing, giving me that confidence. I think was important to figuring out, saying, well,
it's a lot about timing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's timing, 100%. I think going through that, I was the first of my friends to go through something like that. There was less people to talk to, less people to ask questions. We didn't have mama mornings, I didn't have other moms to talk to. It was very, very lonely as a journey. Beautiful, again, absolutely beautiful and exciting. And my first is extremely special to me. But then you realize that there are certain things that you could help other moms that go through the same journey as you, and say, well, it's a quick fix of saying just someone to come, like Cecile, coming to your house and telling you you're okay, you're fine. So I think timing was extremely important. I had the drive, I had the energy for it.
You must have a lot of energy with 3 boys.
It's a big responsibility. I think what people don't realize in this business, it's a business and it's a mommy business, but it's a big responsibility. I'm caring for so many families around the UAE, their children, so I am fully responsible for all these families, and I have an amazing team, so I'm lucky with that. But again, it comes down to my being responsible. So for me, it is a 24/7 job. It's not on Thursday at 6 p.m. I switch off and I'm ready for the weekend. My team works some in the night, some during the day. Our busiest times are the weekends, so I'm switched on constantly.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. How do you, I don't know whether juggle is a better word than balance, that and being a mum to your own 3 boys? Because with the nature of your business, it is 24/7. You have sleep 100%. Consultants. Babies don't have a 9 to 5 routine. So how do you juggle all of this?
I think, it's tough. I have to say it's extremely tough, and I can't say that I found a balance, because I think it's tough to find the balance, especially, I don't know if it's the nature of my industry or my business, or whether it's general for any mom that's, juggling kids at home and a business. The thing is, I think, what helps me or helps make it work, I guess, is I have a great team in the office. So at any time I need to step out because my son is sick, or I have something special at school that I need to attend to, I know I have an amazing team that I can rely on. At the same time, I have an amazing team at home. So, the childcare that I have family as well that, step in when I need them to. I think it wouldn't work unless I had both of these working together. If I didn't have a strong team at work that I could ask and say, look, can you step in for something important? Or, support at home to say, look, I know my kids are in the best possible setup because there's someone there caring for them just as much as I would have. So it gives me that comfort, but again, it's challenging, it's tough. I don't always have to do it right. There are days where, I feel terrible as a mom that I wasn't there for a certain occasion, or, I didn't, attend certain things that moms would do for their kids. So it's difficult, but then I'm like any other working mom, I'm trying my best.
Yeah, and maybe some weeks the children need more of your time.
Exactly.
Versus the business. But 100%. Then other weeks, you have something really big going on with the business. So it's, I think it's a juggle rather than a balance.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Because balance almost puts way too much pressure on it.
Exactly, that you can
never
actually
going to
achieve
be 100%
it.
balanced.
And I think it's very difficult,
Yeah, but I think that the common thread so far that I'm hearing through the few episodes I've recorded so far is help.
Yeah.
Like, you are going to need support and help. And a lot of the time, especially with your first, you think, I'm going to get this, it's going to be fine.
Exactly.
And every mum I've spoken to is just like, help.
And there's nothing wrong with it. And even if you're not working,
get the right help.
100%.
Get the right, whatever that looks like for you.
Support. Exactly.
You're going to need it.
There's nothing wrong with asking for help during this time. You don't need to do it all. There's no need. At the end of the day, your kids just want you to be there and happy and present at the times that they're with you, and I think that's really all they want. But you don't have to be everything all the time for them.
Yeah, and I think that's why Malaak is so amazing, because you offer those solutions, which, because I think a lot of people here assume that once you have a baby, then you just have someone that lives in. But that doesn't suit everyone. Not everyone has the space for that. Not everyone has the budget for that. So you kind of offer these other flexible solutions.
Yeah, if you just wanted a date night, you wanted to go out, just spend a few hours
or you just
for
need
yourself.
a little bit of help in the beginning, or I love the idea of the sleep consultants.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to speak to Cecile about this, because this is something that I think like a lot of the time you watch on TV shows and movies, you know, like the mum just not sleeping at all. And it's like there are people out there that can support you with that and give you a little bit of help.
Really. And we have, honestly,
and help you put things in place.
Yeah, that does this. Like, it's, you know, we have Cecile, we have Joe, we have our team of sleep trainers that go into your home and do the actual hands-on. Yeah. It's amazing. And I've had it obviously done now with my third, and it's like magic, to be honest. It really is. And it's not done in a, you know, I think there's a lot of kind of myths around sleep training and leaving your baby to cry and these types of things. And I think what's nice about our program is we really adapt it to the family. So we look at what you're comfortable with, you know, kind of what are the habits that have been, you know, kind of happening in the family, what are your objectives as well for the sleep training program. And then we adapt it to that. But I completely vouch.
Well, speaking of myths, I wanted to ask you, so from everything you've learned so far about pregnancy, birth, babies, what are some of the myths you'd like to debunk?
Yeah.
Because I hear a lot of kind of things that I think people just assume are fact.
Exactly. And then it becomes like there's no need to add this extra level of stress when actually there's really no fact.
So what are the myths that you'd like to debunk?
My personal experience has been through my 3 pregnancies. I was lucky to have a doctor that kept telling me, you can eat whatever you want. There's no, you can't eat this and you can't eat that and you can't salads outside and sushi and this and that. And I ate everything, to be honest, during my pregnancy. And thank God my kids are very healthy and very happy. And so I think there's that from a pregnancy perspective that I think now I'm very confident to tell my friends, guys, you can just eat anything.
Oh, fish is a big one. Yeah, someone said to me the other day, we were going to go to, we went to some friend's house for dinner. And they were like, I was going to make salmon, but then I realised you can't eat salmon. And I was like, can I not? And this was like really early on in my pregnancy. Yeah. And then I've done some research and I actually went to My Pregnancy Arabia event, and a doctor was saying that salmon is one of the things you should be eating like at least once or twice a week.
Exactly. Especially after when you're breastfeeding, it's fantastic.
It's really good for you. So I was like, oh, hang on a minute. So I should be eating salmon.
And I think that's where it's important to make sure that you are, you know, whoever's supporting you throughout your journey is giving you the right information, because it's a shame to add that extra level of anxiety on top of you're already worried about the baby, you're worried about the growth, you're worried about the birth, to then add that extra level of information that is honestly unnecessary. And I remember things with, you know, like birth, for example, that, you know, another myth is, you know, that you can control your birth plan. Like I remember writing my birth plan and, you know, going into details with my doctor, laminating it, like this is what we're going to follow. No. My first baby, I was lucky. I ended up in a natural birth, and it was challenging. I'm not saying natural birth is any less challenging than a C-section. For the next 2, I had a C-section. Second one was an emergency C-section. So we didn't follow the birth plan. He had a cord wrapped around his neck. We had to follow what was needed for the safety of my child. So it's important to have kind of what you think it's going to look like, and ideally what it's going to be like. But every single child is different. The experience of birth is different. And then after giving birth, I realized that, you know, I did Gina Forward with my first. I was like, buy the book. And it worked. My second, Gina Forward, everything else, nothing worked for this child. So it's really about customizing to that child and understanding that it's not like they don't come with a manual, right? You know,
they're their own little personality.
They're their own little personality. It's about getting to understand that personality and really trusting your gut.
Yeah.
As a mom, what works for my first definitely doesn't work for my second. And now for my third, it's completely different. So it's nice to read and prepare yourself, but also be comfortable with the fact that it might not be exactly by the book, and that's fine. You know, it's absolutely normal. It's still beautiful. Whatever journey that child's going to take you through, it is what it is, and it's enjoying that experience with your child. So I think that's the stress I had first time around, that I read so much. I was so prepared that he's going to follow the routine, and if I do X, Y, Z, that's how it's going to go. And it doesn't always work that way. I had challenges breastfeeding, you know, from a routine perspective. You know, things don't always fall into place the way you read about them. So it's about adapting and being agile.
And so for your first, you had a natural, and then second, emergency, because the umbilical cord was wrapped around him. And then third, did you elect to have a C-section?
I elected to have a C-section.
So you've had kind of
three completely different experiences. And the third, because I also, towards the end of my pregnancy, so the last 4 months, I had something called pubic dysfunction. So it was extremely painful. And, you know, I had a conversation with my doctor and said, look, should I try? And she said, look, you know, I'm concerned that it will further impact the pubic dysfunction that you already have, and we're going to need to work on it. And that's another thing that I really enjoyed through the Mom Mornings, is that we work with, a company like Up and Running, where they do postnatal kind of, strengthening, which with my first, I honestly took for granted that, I'm going to have to do these public exercises and these types of things. I didn't really do them, and it really impacted me on my second.
Yeah.
And it's extremely important that moms take care of themselves after they've given birth. And it's not about getting back into shape and losing weight and fitting into your jeans. It's really like you've gone through 9-10 months of, your body changing completely and your muscles being stretched. It's about strengthening your body again so that you're able to be strong enough for your kids again, because you're going to have to run around, you're going to have to bend down, you're going to have to pick up. And it's physically tiring on your body, so you need to be ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most sort of severe thing that your body's going to go through,
exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
And I think whether it's natural or C-section, both involve recovery in different ways.
Exactly.
I think C-section, people forget that is big abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
I think before I became pregnant, I'd never really looked into. I knew people have C-sections, and I thought it was just, they open you up, baby's out, done.
That's it. Yeah.
I didn't actually realise that, okay, this is major surgery. This involves this kind of recovery. So I'm looking into all. I have preferences, but like you said, my baby might have a completely different idea. So I'm kind of trying to prepare myself for all eventualities.
And that's what's good about it. Educate yourself on the different options that you might face, so that when the doctor is asking you for your feedback, you know what decision.
And so it's not such a shock. If I have to have an emergency C-section, I want to know, okay, I can kind of be prepared for X, Y, Z. Like, I know that the recovery is going to be this. I might feel like this after.
Exactly.
Because I think sometimes people go into it just with that kind of go with the flow attitude, and for some people that works and they're really lucky, but for others it's a massive shock when then things take a different turn.
Exactly. And they're not ready mentally, and it adds to that anxiety.
And I think already when you have a baby, your world's being turned upside down. The last thing you need is extra sort of guilt and anxiety around what your birth was like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I just want to come
and
away
not to
from
be hard
that.
on yourself. I mean, you try to have the birth that you would like, but then, like you said, go with the flow with whatever is right to keep your child safe at the end of the day.
You just want your baby out safe. That's all that
and
matters.
then once you've given birth, really taking the step back and being kind to yourself. And this is what I did third time around, because I had to, is to take time out and say, I'm going to fix my body, because I need to fix it. Me going through pubic dysfunction made me realize how much I had neglected my body for the longest time.
Yeah.
And one pregnancy after another really impacts your
How
body.
many years in between your children?
So I have 2.5 years between the first two, and then almost 4 years between.
Okay, so a bit of a bigger gap.
Yeah, bigger gap with the second one, and between the second and the third. But that was the one that really impacted me, because I hadn't taken care of my body in between. I hadn't done things for myself, and you realize that you need to do that in order to be better and available for your kids as well. And I think that's what I find with a lot of the moms that we talk to, is not taking time out for yourself and thinking you're being selfish by taking that time out to do something for yourself or to take care of your body.
I was going to ask, actually, is there a sort of common sort of concern or challenge that always crops up with not even first time mums, but new mums? Like, is there something that you see time and time again that mums really struggle with?
I think a lot of the times it's the juggling. So not only work, I think it's personal life and your kids, and a lot of moms go through challenging moments in their life, and you need to keep going. When you have children, you can't kind of step back and focus on this personal issue, and you need to just keep going. You still have your child that you need to take care of. You need to get up in the morning. You need to get up at night. You need to continue as is. So it's that strength that I find is tough on moms. We're all going through the exact same thing, whether you're working, whether you stay at home. We all go through personal things in our life that need our attention, but then we also have our children at the same time that constantly rely on us to give them the love, to give them the attention, to be present. It's challenging, I find, but I find that's probably one of the most common challenges that moms face. It's just, how do I continue? Struggles in their marriage, struggles with family, or losing a close family member to them, but still having to continue.
And also the guilt,
and
feeling guilty about all the decisions you're making.
Or decisions with that. It's tough. A lot of the times we did a panel a few years ago, actually, with working moms, And it was so nice to talk to other moms facing the exact same thing. And I think that's what's really nice about your podcast is you're getting, experiences from different moms going through different things. And just, I think, sharing that will help other moms feel like it's okay. It's nice to talk about it.
It's funny because
we're all struggling.
Already with the mums I've met, all their circumstances are different, their styles are different, but they're all so linked with the feelings and the kind of experience they're having, because it is the same for everyone. So it's the same things that come up. And even in series 1 with some of the ladies I spoke to that have children, it's the same thing.
And that's why we always say to be each other, like be kind to each other. Especially, I see on these mummy groups sometimes it's a lot of judgment and things like that.
I can see that sometimes they get a little bit heated.
Too much, and it's like, please be kind, because you don't know what this person is going through. You don't know what they're facing. You don't know what challenges they have. And everyone has different challenges in different ways. No one has something more than the other. It's just, it's a struggle. And I think having a support group is all about being supportive.
And you don't always know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
And I think I found that when you get pregnant, you are obviously so just over the moon and so grateful because, I have a couple of people close to me. Someone actually, a friend of mine got pregnant at the same time as me, but she lost the baby. It was her second, very, very early on. And I know people that are trying, and you are so grateful and so happy, but that doesn't mean that you have your own struggles as well. But you can, on the flip side, you can also feel a little bit guilty for feeling kind of stressed and worried about other things going on in your life, and you think, well, I should just be so grateful that I'm pregnant and my baby's okay. And that's also something that I think has to stop, because you can still be stressed and worried and really happy about your pregnancy at the same time. But I found that I've not really wanted to, like with friends, I don't want to say, well, I'm actually stressed about this right now, or I'm going through that, because I should just be so grateful that I'm even pregnant, and that should be my only focus. And it is a huge focus, but that doesn't mean that there's all this other stuff going on.
Just being authentic and talking about what you're experiencing, I think is perfectly fine.
Well, what I've done is, and I do it in the car, and sometimes I think I've officially lost it. I've gone mad. I talk to my baby while I'm driving a lot.
That's amazing.
Because I think I want him or her to know that, okay, mummy might be crying, she might be stressed, but it's not about you. This is happening right now, and this is just what happens in life sometimes. And because I don't want there to be this, because I do think that from the minute you get pregnant, there's this connection and they pick up on things. So I'm like consciously like, this isn't about you. This has nothing to do with you. This is going on. Because I just don't want them to pick up on any of my worries. I don't want them bringing that in to the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Things that I'm concerned about now, which I won't be concerned about next year.
And it's a struggle. I think, after giving birth, I remember feeling that way as well. I was really sad and tired and all of that, but at the same time I should be so excited.
Your hormones also are
are raging, crazy. But I have a healthy, happy baby, and I should be happy about that, and enjoying that versus stressing over the other things. But that's how I felt.
But you're human as well.
Human.
You can
I'm allowed
feel
to
many different things. I was really lucky in the fact that I've had no sickness.
That's great.
But I have, and I'm still going through the tired thing. Like, I'm really tired all the time. Like, I'll do this podcast and I'll do some work, and then I'm like, I need to go to sleep.
And I need to enjoy that now.
So but I'm not used to that. So there's that. But in the beginning, because I wasn't having the sickness, but I was so emotional. Like, I could not get a grip of my emotions. Now I'm over that. I feel like myself again. But initially I was like, what is going on? This is mad.
Yeah.
I feel
and I think you go
so
through waves
emotional.
of it. I think after you've given birth, it's extremely emotional.
I think it's a similar thing, yeah.
But it's also, for me, my personal experience was when I saw I was so happy, but at the same time I felt it in a huge surge of sudden responsibility that I hadn't felt before. I thought I had responsibility before with work and getting a job and these things, but that's nothing in comparison to having a child that you're suddenly responsible for everything. Just keeping them alive is
this is my job.
That's my job. So that's a huge thing. So I find it's you need to be honest and forgive yourself and be kind to yourself. If you want to cry, you cry. So many times I cry, And I'm like, well, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And you need to let it out as well.
Yeah.
I think it's not good to kind of, and luckily because I'm not in full-time work at the moment. I'm not in a corporate environment. I'm able to kind of just sit in my feelings. I think if I was in a corporate role or with a really busy project, it would be harder because you've got to really keep it together.
Exactly.
So I am quite grateful that right now I can just, on those days where I am feeling a bit like, I can just be in that. That's okay. I don't need to put on a smile for anyone.
Exactly.
And I really admire women who are juggling these huge roles and feeling those same things, but have to just keep it together.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's unfair
really hard.
to because people talk about women in business and them being you have to stay not unemotional, but you have to act a bit like a man and keep it together. But I feel like what makes us great as leaders, to be honest, is the empathy we have, is the emotions that we have, is the connections with other people. So I feel like if you're feeling sad that day, express it. If you're feeling upset that day, express it. If you're feeling happy that day, it's fair enough that, yes, we need to stay professional and keep it together, like we say. But at the same time, I think it's unfair to put all that pressure of keeping it together when it's okay.
If you're in a lovely environment, and there are some companies that are like that, 100%. I think it's amazing. I think, but if there are some companies here where it is it's tough and it's you've really got to have your game face on all the time. I think that must be quite hard. And equally for women that have to go back to work really soon, I just think, wow.
Yeah, maternity leave,
that's
45 days. It's not enough to bond.
And then there's
no
regulation here, because I know some people who are with international companies, but they only get 45 days. Some are with international companies, but they go by the British standards. So there's no there's no regulation across the board.
In terms of UAE labour law, is 45 days.
Yeah, so UAE
anything
is
above
45
that,
days.
I think, is at the discretion of the company.
Yeah,
and a lot of companies do provide, 90 days, 6 months. They give that flexibility, or they give you the option of unpaid leave, of
45
part-time.
days just does not.
It's tough,
especially if you've had a cesarean.
Yeah. And I think, regardless, it's just going back to work, and if you're breastfeeding, it's definitely feasible.
But I think this is why a lot of ladies stop breastfeeding, though, isn't it? Because they have to go back, and that then interrupts the kind of routine.
Look, it's feasible. We have a lot of our clients that do continue, even after 45 days. They have a system in place, and we support them to kind of develop that routine so that they're pumping, they're making sure that they come home ready in time for the baby to feed. Whoever's supporting the baby at home, make sure they don't feed in time for the mom to come back, feed, so that you're consistently, because it's supply and demand at the end of the day, making sure that if that's your objective, that we help you achieve that objective, because it is feasible. It just obviously adds that extra level of, you need to travel, you need to leave your work, you need to pump at work. Does your company provide that environment,
a space for you to do that,
where it's private, where you don't feel like you have to ask your boss and they're looking at you like, what do you mean you're leaving again to pump? There are companies that are amazing, and we've visited a lot of the companies that have this support system for their staff, and I think that's amazing. And I think more companies will be doing it, because they've realized how important it is to retain women in the company in managerial roles, and you can't do it unless you have that flexibility.
Yeah, and I think I'm seeing a change with sort of corporate wellness and flexibility, because I have a friend in the UK. She's just moved back. She lived here for a few years, and she's joined this incredible company. It's an equity firm, and they have a room just for mums that want to pump, and it's like dim lighting, and it's really zen, and they really support women coming back to work after they've had children, along with all other sort of elements of corporate wellness. And I'm seeing that more here now as well. I think that's quite standard in the UK. That's been going on for quite a while. I'm seeing it more here as well, because what's wrong with wanting to get back to the job you love, but also wanting to continue to breastfeed? Like, you should be able to do both.
Yeah.
So it is,
and men don't go through those challenges.
No, for them, they have their own, but it's I think especially in the early days, for us it's maybe more physical challenges than them.
Yeah, and even paternity leave they get 3 days. So a dad to actually bond with his child if he has a tough job or if he travels a lot.
3 days. I mean, what is 3 days?
It's not a lot to spend time with your newborn, especially first time around. You're first baby to spend time and enjoy those moments that you'll never get back, really.
I know.
So it's important that companies do take that.
Yeah, it's really important.
And consider how important it is for the well-being of, and if you want to retain that team member, it's important to allow that flexibility in the short term, because you'll retain them in the long term.
Exactly. What are some things that you would advise or suggest new mums to invest in terms of items, services, workshops? What would be like your top 3?
Question. I think for me, items, I have my list of basics that I always go by, and I give it to a lot of my friends. These are the things that are not like extravagant, not your amazing stroller or your amazing this, just essentials that I think make a huge difference, to kind of making it easier for you in the first couple of days. Because I remember going in and with my first one, I had no clue what I was doing. I packed the nappy bag wrong. I had no clue how to. I had packed in gloves. I thought you change nappies, but like have gloves and you change nappies. That was ridiculous. So I got all the wrong things. I was really fooled by all the marketing that kind of there. So I got the latest this and the latest that, and really it's so simple. You don't need the latest gadgets. So that's why I have the list of kind of basic items, I would say. From workshops, I think prenatal classes are key. It helps you get ready for your journey, not the things you buy, even though they suggest certain things that can be helpful along the way, but more the emotional side. And of course, they help you on what to expect when your baby comes, and the hands-on kind of techniques of changing a nappy, that we've implemented now after my experience. Certain things that help you prepare, but at the same time, we talk a lot about you as a person and how you change after giving birth. And I think that's important to just adjust your mindset a little bit, that you'll try to get back to your life as is, but there is a new element in your life that will change the dynamics, and it's just about adjusting your mindset to it. So I think prenatal class is amazing. In-home, obviously, child support for me is just, even if it's for a couple of nights, just to get some rest, especially when you're feeling like it's too much. Yeah. Before it gets to the point where it's too much, ask for help. It's okay to ask for help a couple of nights. If it's looking at just getting a consultation for breastfeeding, I think these types of things help a lot. What I've seen just recently, just because I'm going through that phase, how popular our weaning and sleep workshops are, because moms are going through that phase of they're starting solids, they want to do it in the way they feel most comfortable for their child, and there's different options. And they want the best nutrition for their little ones. So, the weaning workshops do really well, and they support our families, give them the confidence. And then sleep workshops, so giving you little tips and techniques so that you're starting good habits early on. And again, it's not about, doing things in a strict or military style. It's adapting to what you want for your family, but at the same time, making sure that you're developing the right sleep habits early on. Which I'm sure Cecile will take you through.
Sleep is a big one, isn't it? And a lot of my close friends are like, because Rami and I love sleeping. Like, we're really good sleepers. And our friends are like, I don't know how you're going to cope with the lack of sleep. And I'm like, yeah, but you just do. Yeah. Like, I'm under no illusion that I'm going to be able to take naps and sleep in. Like, obviously not, which is why I enjoy doing it now. And a few of our friends are just like, I can't wait to see how you two cope with this. And I'm like, well, you just do. Yeah. Like, you learn to live on less sleep. Exactly. And also, not all babies just don't sleep. I think people assume that you're just never going to sleep again.
And really, it depends
on your child. And it doesn't have to be like that. Our lifestyle's definitely going to change. But I think people really try and scaremonger you with the sleep thing. It's like, you're never going to sleep.
And I definitely sleep less, I can say that.
Yeah, but I know people that have a nice routine.
Exactly, you adapt, and then I think it depends how you manage it. So if your baby is napping, they say sleep when the baby sleeps. If you're getting support with someone helping you, clean the house or do the dirty dishes, that's something very small that you decide that is helpful for me, so I can take that nap with my baby. It's little things. My husband's happy to chip in and do the dream feed so that I can get extra sleep. So I think as long as you're getting the right support, you will get your sleep. You will get into a nice routine. But if you're gonna, kind of do everything yourself, and you might have a struggle, you might have challenges, and if you don't ask for help, that's where maybe it might be that you're getting a lot less sleep than you hoped.
I think I would get someone in very early, just regardless of what's happening, just to kind of have that support. Yeah. And
someone that you're used to, someone that already knows you and your family.
Yeah, and just to kind of, especially in the early days where I think it's probably you're at your most sort of overwhelmed and just in shock and just, oh my goodness, I've got this little thing that I have to take care of. I think get someone in early and kind of have that support from day one. And like you said, don't let it get to the point where you're not coping.
Yeah.
And just help
because
you
we have
get
a lot of
set
moms
up a
that
little
call
bit.
in when it's never too late.
They've got to the
obviously.
end of the tether.
They've got to the end. They've got to, I'm really, really struggling. I'm really, really struggling. And what's nice is we see a lot of husbands calling us now. So a lot of husbands that say, look, I want my wife to relax. I want her to get a night off for herself. Please can you send me someone just for a night or just for 6 hours, just so she can get some rest.
And one night can do wonders, can't it?
Really.
Just to have one night of unbroken good sleep
exactly
can make all the difference. And it's here, it's available. Do it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, Lily, we're going to do a quick fire round now. You ready?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that quick. We've kind of touched on this already, but what's your one piece of advice for first-time mummies?
I think reach out for help. Yeah, reach out for. I know people have different advice, different, experiences, and take what works for you. So it's not just you have to listen to everyone. Everyone has different opinions, and it's confusing. I think research, reach out for help, get advice, especially moms that have gone through it. Get their experience, and then do what works for you and trust your gut. Honestly, I would say these two things. Reach out for help and then trust your gut on what works for you.
My mum said that from day one. She was like, listen, people are just going to give you their advice, even when you don't ask for it. As soon as you become pregnant, people just
tell you.
She said, listen to it all, but take the bits that you feel are right for you. Yeah. Don't feel like you need to, listen to everyone, yes, but be open-minded. Don't think that you need to take everyone's advice because it might not be right for you.
Exactly.
So it's lovely and people have the best intentions, but not everything that works for them is maybe going to work for you.
And then you'll gain the confidence as you go on. But I think learning to trust your gut is what's going to help. That if you feel, that this works for your child, do that. If the book says something otherwise, your friend says something otherwise, you trust your gut because that's most likely the right rules. Thing.
One thing you've learned about yourself after becoming a mum?
I think for me, I realized I take myself way too seriously until I had kids. And now it's nice. And I have a 7-year-old who's honestly like a mini teenager. And he'll call me out and, says the funniest things that just crack me up and think, oh yeah, he's right. Like, it's fine to be silly. It's fine to, it's just, he's reignited the child in me, I think. And I think that's probably what I've realized is I was taking things way too seriously, and having kids really gets you back and grounds you again, and gets you back a little bit to reality when there's so much on your plate and you're constantly your mind's like on a roll. Your kids reconnect you back down to earth, and it's absolutely amazing. So I think I've learned that I take myself way too seriously, and it's important to have a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. What's one thing you wish someone had warned you about before becoming a mum?
Trying to think. I think how many, I think like you said, different opinions you're going to get. I think I wasn't confident enough, especially the first time around, not to listen to so many different things. So you end up trying different things and, going with different doctors or going with different, kind of experienced professionals to tell you different things. Whereas, like you said, it's important to do the research, but at the same time, do what works for you and be confident enough to trust your gut. So I think, I wish someone told me, yes, there are all these schools of research and schools of thoughts and people that will tell you X, Y, Z, but you need to map out your own journey with your child, and it's your own parenting journey, whether it's your birth, whether it's, taking care of your child, whether it's which school they go to, whether it's, how you want to balance, how you want to spend time with them, what's important for them in terms of activities, what is important for you, for your child in terms of their happiness and their growth. Just having that confidence to say you will make these decisions based on what you feel is right. for your family. So I think, someone telling me, it's nice that there are all of these things around, but it's up to you to make the right decision.
And especially when you're a first-time mum, other mums can be really like, well, you should do this because blah, 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 blah. And it's lovely, and you can take a lot of it, and some of it might be really useful, but that was their experience. So just because that's good for them, don't let that kind of confuse what your instincts are saying.
Exactly.
That's because I think we all have this kind of intuition and instinct, and just go with that, and then
I
take
think
the bits that you need.
It takes time to get that confidence. I think, okay, I'm on my third now, so but I still have, this time with the weaning, it's still new for me. I did go through the same stages that I did with my first two. And I think it's about saying, well, I'm trusting my gut because I want to try it with.
And I have the confidence
to do it, So it's important to trust kind of your gut and go with your own journey.
Favorite thing about being a mum?
For me, and I don't know if it's because I have 3 boys, but the unconditional love I get. Like, it's something out of this world and so amazing. Like, when I walk in, it's just like, I'm the queen kind of at home, and just that just them needing a hug from me, or needing that, my son loves me massaging him, and something simple like that just he wants only me, and I love that. It's absolutely stunning, and I hope that always stays.
You are their queen.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. What does motherhood mean to you in 3 words?
Selflessness, definitely. Love, so much love. And joy for me. It's just the happiest, most amazing thing. Comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with you changing a lot of things about you in your life, but so absolutely worth it and so beautiful, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh, Lily, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to put everything in the show notes in terms of links to your social, your website, up-and-coming events, so people can check you out. And I'm definitely going to start coming to the Monday mornings. I can come even during pregnancy, so it's
perfect
for
actually, because you're
expecting mums as well.
Mums as well. So definitely we have different topics every week, so it depends what you're interested in. But it's just nice to come and
at this stage, I'm interested in it all.
Everything.
I'm just like soaking it all up, just everything. Because for me, I'm very focused on the birth right now.
Yeah.
So, like I think most first-time mums are, because it's this huge event that
scary.
You're like, oh, I'm a bit scared, and let me do my research. And I love doing research, and the more I know, the more comfortable and confident I feel. So I'm very focused on that. And I need to start also putting as much energy into what happens when baby comes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm not as focused on that at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
and if you are focused on that,
everything.
We've got Jordana, who's our hypnobirthing instructor as well. And she's there at our Mama Morning. So you can always ask questions.
Hypnobirthing, I'm really interested in.
Just get comfortable. If that is what you're looking for, that might be one of the the options that you might choose for your birth. And then Cecile would be the perfect person to discuss.
Cecile is going to come on the podcast, which I cannot wait,
because she's
I've
something
heard
else.
So many amazing things about this lady.
She's amazing. She's like this mother angel that walked into my life. That
the baby whisperer.
The baby whisperer. She really lives up to her name. She is really something special.
Well, Lily, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
it's always lovely seeing
you too.
And spending time with you.
And I will see you at one of the Mama Mornings.
Yeah, can't wait.
Thanks, Lily.
All right.
Thank you once again to the lovely Lily from Malaak. If you have children, or if you're currently expecting, then you definitely need to check out Malaak ASAP. You can find links to all of Malaak's social pages and their website in the show notes below. If you'd like to find out who my guests will be on the next episode of Bumps and Babies, please do follow us on Instagram @LifeSchoolME, where you can keep up to date with all our news and find information on all our amazing guests. And finally, I would be so grateful if you could show some love and please rate, review, and subscribe to Life School ME, the podcast, to help us reach and hopefully inspire more listeners. Thank you for listening to Life School. Conversations to inspire action.